Spring is coming to the Estevan area right now. Water's running down the road. Our snowbanks are disappearing. It's getting a little bit warmer. And so for the last few days, I've been watching the Weather Network, trying to figure out what the weekend will look like. I want to know what's coming because it might be warm enough to play a motorcycle. So I keep watching the forecast because I want to know what's coming. Most of us like that feeling, right? Most of us like to know what's coming, even if it's only a few days down the road. But oftentimes we think we would like to plan things out farther than that. And so we think about retirement, and we think about what we're doing next year, and we think about lots of different things and try and plan things out because we like certainty. We like feeling that we have a plan. We like feeling like we know what's coming. And for most of my life, I lived on that premise that I need to be in control and know what's coming and make a plan and make it happen. But a few years ago, I came across a phrase in a devotional book written by Oswald Chambers, a phrase that has made me think a lot and has changed the way I approach a lot of things. He said in his book that we need to, as Christian people, live with an attitude of gracious uncertainty. The gracious part meaning that God is involved, and then just admitting we're uncertain about what's going to happen, but I know who's in charge, so it's going to be okay. That's kind of the attitude. And when I stop and think about it, lots of times the best things in my life have come not because I've planned them, but because God has blessed me with them. Right? 31 years ago, about this time of the year, I was about to graduate from Bible college, and I had no idea where I was going to go or what I was going to do. And then someone from Estevan, Saskatchewan called and said, "Hey, would you like to come here for the summer and work with the church here?" And so I did that with no idea of what was going to come next. 31 years later, here I am still, right? It was a great blessing that was just given to me that wasn't planned. I didn't make anything happen, but I was certain that something gracious was going to happen. And in my gracious uncertainty, here I am. I think sometimes we get caught into a problem of looking at it from our human point of view and saying about lots of things, I don't see how that can happen. And yet, a spiritual outlook would see that a little bit differently. A spiritual outlook would remind us that God is actually in charge, and we need to leave a little room for Him to do some things. In Matthew 18, Jesus encouraged us to be like little children, and I think this is one of the ways in which He meant that possibly, is that little kids don't plan their own lives. They just kind of go where their parents take them, and if we understood our lives better, most of the time we're being taken where God would want us to go, right? Chambers says that when we have a right relationship with God, life is full of spontaneous and joyful uncertainty and expectancy. Amazing things happened, not because we made them happen, but because we believed that God was looking after us, and then He blesses us along the way. Jesus said in John chapter 14, verse 1, He told His disciples to believe also in me. He didn't say believe certain things about me. He said believe in me. Believe in me. I am looking after you. It's going to be okay. And that's the attitude then which with the apostles went out into the world. They believed it was going to be okay. God was looking after them. Now, I'm not telling you to be careless about the future, but what I am saying is leave some rooms for things you didn't expect. You might be surprised at what comes along.